So this is just a quick explanation of how this whole thing works. We first have to simulate like a hardware sensor that's sending data to our producers. So we have a hardware thread which will basically run in the main thread, and all it does it generates a random value, and then it at a set frequency it adds to a buffer, and then it releases a semaphore. So basically the semaphore is when we release an instance, or like when we call release, we tell the semaphore that there is a piece of data that can be received now, and then this line of code blocks until the semaphore has at least one data value available. So basically when it blocks like this and then unblocks after, this whole block of code basically simulates like an interrupt, because we can't simulate a whole interrupt, like a hardware interrupt in CoderPad. So basically when we receive a hardware interrupt, we produce this. So we add to the actual producer buffer, and then we release a semaphore again for the consumer to consume. And then this consumer thread is basically it does the averaging math. So so here it blocks until a data point from the producer is produced. And so when the producer produces a data point, this stops blocking, and then this is just, we're using a threading lock to make sure that no two threads are accessing the buffer at the same time, which shouldn't happen because we got the semaphore after it was increased by the previous thread, but you never know. And this isn't just another safety for in case the buffer is empty, which it shouldn't be. And so we just add to the sliding window when there is a data point available from the producer, and then we calculate the average from that, and then we just print it. This could be like writing to a file, or any other use case for the data in the consumer. And so basically we start the threads, the producer and the consumer threads, and they first block until the hardware starts sending interrupts, because we're like simulating an interrupt thing there. And so if we click run, you can see whoops. Yep, so the producer and consumer threads are created, and then we create the hardware simulator, and the pipeline is working.